Everyone, welcome to Stardust Cinema. I'm your host, Carrie. First of all, I would like to apologize for the fact that it has been so long since my last post. That was certainly not my intention. That is followed up by another apology that this particular episode is going to be a little scattered, but you'll understand why here in a moment. I just want to give you a quick update as to why it has been so long. So I'm going to kind of jump back and forth with stories here. But at the beginning of February, I went on a trip with some friends, came home with COVID. And so I wasn't able to record for a little while with that. And then a couple of weeks ago, my mom passed away unexpectedly. So we've just been dealing with a lot with that. Obviously, the shock, the grief, and just, trying to re-find our footing and such. So hopefully I will be able to get back into a rhythm of recording regularly as I would like to. Obviously, the brain fog and stuff is still somewhat there. So I'm just going to do my best with it, but I appreciate your patience. Now, in this particular episode, I'm going to do something a little different. You won't see me do this too often, but I'm actually going to talk about a movie that I did not really care for that much. But in order to do that, I'm actually going to jump back to my story a minute ago and kind of give you a little bit of a backstory as to what brought this on. So at the beginning of February, well, it was like Valentine's weekend, that I went on a trip with some friends of mine, and we ended up at a church that we enjoy. We have some friends there. And because it was Valentine's, they were having a full Valentine's party, and they had an Elvis impersonator come in, which I had no clue was going to happen, but I was like, this is really cool. And this made the third Elvis impersonator I have met. His name was Matt Joyce, and he was awesome. Like every Elvis impersonator I have seen and heard brings something different to it. And like Matt just brought a comedy to it that I had not seen before, and it was just awesome. So when I came home with that case of COVID, everyone was teasing me that I had gotten COVID from kissing Elvis, because obviously he went around kissing all the girls, and he kissed me on the cheek twice throughout the thing. So on our way home from that, the party lasted longer than we were planning on being gone, and we were exhausted. So we decided to spend the night in Memphis and just drive home the next morning. Well, the people I was with found out I had never been to Graceland. So we ended up, obviously, we had just been at this Elvis impersonator show. So we were all in a big Elvis mood. So we ended up going to Graceland the next morning, and I got myself this hat. If you're just listening to it, it's like a pink baseball cap with kind of a camo bill and the Elvis Presley signature across the top of it. So I went to Graceland, and that was just really, really fun. But kind of a funny little story about me. I was actually never a big Elvis fan. Like the only songs I had ever really heard by him were Blue Suede Shoes and Jailhouse Rock, and I was just not that impressed. I'm sorry. Like they were stupid to me. Obviously, I enjoy them more now, but oh geez, it has probably been at least 5 years ago that a friend that I had met on Instagram through all the classic stuff, his name is Caleb, told me, look up Let It Be Me, because he was like, this is like not right that you of all people, being such a classics geek, don't like Elvis. So he's like, look up Let It Be Me. And I did, and I about bawled. So I have been like slowly developing my taste for Elvis music since then. But I haven't seen that many Elvis movies yet. I have seen a few, and I've seen a few that I liked. But this particular movie, I got a few days after my mom passed away, and I just needed like an outing, go do something fun, like get my mind off of it. So I went to the store that I like, and I found a Elvis movie on DVD that was on the clearance rack. I think I got it for $3. And the name of the movie was Stay Away Joe. And it's a film from 1968. And I finally watched it a couple of nights ago. It was terrible. Like, honestly, I had a lot of good laughs, but I'll read off a few of the cast members. Quentin Dean, Elvis Presley, obviously, Burgess Meredith, Joan Blondell. I love her in like anything I have ever seen her in. Anne Seymour is a very familiar actress from that time period. Henry Jones, I recognized him from Support Your Local Sheriff mostly. So I loved that little appearance. Dick Wilson is a very familiar actor from that time period as well. So the basic storyline is that Joe is a Indian and he is a rodeo star. Joe is played by Elvis, obviously. So he gets this brilliant idea to get the government to give his father a small herd of cattle and for him to like start, to build a bigger herd. They give him like 20 heifers and a bull. So when Joe comes home, they throw this big party and they decide to kill one of the cows and cook it, so everybody can have a big feast, whatever. Well, the guy that does that is too drunk to realize he killed the one bull out of the herd. So Joe's like, oh, no problem. I'll get another bull. So he calls up a buddy of his, hey, I need a bull. And this guy sends like this prize bull to him, and all the thing will do is sleep. Like, he got this bull for breeding purposes and like it won't even budge. And he's like, oh, for crying out loud. So the entire movie, like 75, 80+% of this movie, he is either on top of a girl or rolling around in the dirt in a fight. And like they're pretty much drunk the entire movie. So I did like a few points out of it. Joan Blondell, like I said, I pretty much love her in anything I've seen her in. She played like a store owner with a 19-year-old daughter who was just crazy about Joe. And the mother is trying to keep the daughter away from him. And they're constantly like trying to sneak behind her back and do stuff they shouldn't be doing. And well, I don't know what the daughter told her mother happened, but she is like trying to force them at gunpoint to get married. And he obviously is not wanting anything to do with it. And he's like, look, all I did was kiss her. Like, I didn't get her pregnant. What are you doing? And the mom's like, wait, all he did was kiss you? And the daughter's like, yeah, you told me if I ever kissed a boy, I could get in trouble. And her mother's like, okay, we need to have a talk because this is not how this works. So he didn't have to marry the girl. I did love how he ended up, like when he first met his sister's fiance, he wasn't too sure what he thought of him, but I did love how he kind of stuck up for him at the end and was like, yeah, don't let her tell you this isn't going to work, whatever, y'all are meant to be together. So I did love that element of it. And he ends up finding out that this bull that he got is actually a bucking bull. It's not like for breeding, it's a bucking bull. So he's a rodeo star. So he takes this bull and enters it in a rodeo and like bets all these guys they can't ride this bull. And of course they can't. So he wins all this money, and then he wins even more money because he can ride the bull. And he ends up taking that money, and his stepmother had like sold off the herd trying to fix the place up, trying to fix their house up to impress her daughter's future in-laws. So he ends up taking the money that he won with all this and like buying 100 head of cattle and a bull, whatever. So everything turned out in the end, but the movie dragged. Like it took forever to get anywhere. Obviously a lot of stuff in it I did not feel was appropriate. Like I said, I did get a lot of laughs, but I don't know. Story was weak. Just 2 thumbs down on that one. Sorry, Elvis, buddy. That was not a good movie, which I realized he was under contract at that point, so he couldn't really do anything about that. Um, but yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would definitely rate this one a 1. As much as I do love Elvis music now, I think uh, just one other quick little fun story there, that one of the last songs that I played for my mom, and she was just getting the biggest kick out of it, was Elvis singing Devil in Disguise. So she was like cracking up listening to that song. So that's a fun little memory there. But um, I have seen some Elvis movies that I liked. So I'm not saying I will never watch another Elvis movie. I'm not saying they're all bad. Um, but this one was definitely not good. So, like I said, you won't hear me talk too many times about movies that I don't like, but in this particular case, it just kind of tied in with, like, me going on this trip and finally getting to go to Graceland and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, well, again, guys, I'm sorry this one's a little crazy. I'll try to get more on track, but appreciate y'all joining me, and I will be back soon with more old soul love for old Hollywood. Bye, guys.